taking that man?
To the dungeon. Oh my.
To the dungeon, why? What's he done, poor fellow?
It was nothing, Molly. All I did was ask to the king if I could marry the princess.
And him a peasant.
A peasant? Why? A peasant can't marry the princess.
I don't see why not. I'm handsome and clever, and I'm awful fond of the princess, and she's awful fond of me too.
She is?
Oh my, yes. I come to the palace every day to deliver vegetables. The princess thinks I'm wonderful, and I think she's wonderful.
The princess can't marry a peasant, I tell you. She has to marry someone rich and famous and noble and...
Like the Duke. The Duke is 50 years old and dull too. The princess would never marry him.
The princess will marry whomever her father tells her to marry. I'm sure he'll want a wealthy son-in-law because they say the royal treasury is almost empty.
Besides, I told you not to ask the king today. If you'd ask him some other time, he might only have exiled you. But he's awful upset today.
Why?
It was the soup he sent up. He said it was horrible and threw it on the floor.
Oh my.
Well, come on, peasant. To the dungeon we must go, we must go, we must go to the dungeon.
Oh dear, the king didn't like the soup and I took such trouble with it.
Cook, cook, something terrible.
What's the matter?
It's the king, he's coming here.
What?
The king, but he's never been in the kitchen before.
This is terrible. Here, now both of you start working. We'll have to straighten up this kitchen up. All right.
Well, so this is the kitchen. At least you're working. Now, who made that awful soup?
I did, Your Majesty.
It was horrible. Horrible, do you hear me?
Well, Your Majesty, it's really not my fault. The ingredients we've been getting lately have been very inferior.
Stuff and nonsense. I could make a better soup than that with my eyes shut. In fact, I'll do it.
Your Majesty!
Yes, that's exactly what I'll do. And I'll do it with my eyes shut. Now, out of my way, everybody. What's this?
A mixing spoon, Your Majesty.
Well, I guess I'll need it. Now, let me see, what do I want?
Maybe a bowl, Your Majesty.
Of course, the very thing. You're a smart girl. All right, I'm ready. Now, cook, give me your apron.
But Your Majesty,
Hurry up. Now I'll show you I can do this with my eyes shut. Tie something around my eyes. Cook.
okay. But Your Majesty, I don't really think...
Be quick about it. There. There, I'm ready to begin. What will you do first, Your Majesty? Oh, let me see. Have we any water?
Oh, a nice kettle full, Your Majesty.
We'll pour some in the bowl. Now, I think I'd like a little flour. Oh, what's this?
That's sauce, Your Majesty. You don't want that for soup.
That's exactly what I want. I do what I...
But Your Majesty,
Who's making this? You or I?
you are, Your Majesty.
Very well then. Now what next? Maybe a little salt. That's just what I was about to say myself. Put some in. How much did you put in? Just a dash, as the good cookbooks say. Cookbooks. What do I care about cookbooks? You cook? Do you use cookbooks?
Oh, yes, Your Majesty.
And that's exactly what's the matter with your cooking. No imagination. Who has ever heard of a dash of salt? We want this to have flavor, don't we? Where's the salt shaker? This is the way to do it. There, that's better. Okay, Father, I've been looking everywhere pretty much.
now, my dear. Don't bother me. I'm very busy.
Father, I must talk to you. Have you seen my peasant anywhere? He's usually here by 11 o'clock with the vegetables.
Oh, yes, Sam. I saw him and threw him in the dungeon.
What?
Now, let me see what next.
But Father, why?
Are you still here? Go away.
Father, why did you throw him in the dungeon?
Who?
Father, stop it. You know who I am.
Oh, yes, that peasant. Oh, that peasant, yes. I had to throw him in the dungeon. He had the colossal nerve to ask for your hand in marriage.
He did. You had to let him out of the dungeon. I want to marry him.
Nonsense. You can't marry a peasant, and you know it. What this family needs is a relative with some money. Now, find someone with royal blood and lots of money, and you can marry him.
I want to marry my peasant.
There, don't cry. Look at this nice thing Daddy made for you.
What is it?
I don't know. Why don't you taste it?
It looks awful. What do you suppose it is, Cook?
I'm sure I don't know, Your Highness. It's not porridge. Of course it's not porridge. Well, I don't all of you stand there. What is it?
I really don't think it's soup.
Nor stew.
This is a problem. I have it. One of my wonderful ideas. Oh dear.
Oh, Father, what is it this?
We'll have a contest. Whoever can guess what this is wins a reward. And what will the reward be, Your Majesty? Why, the hand of the princess in marriage, of course. Certainly. You want to have a lovely wedding and get lots of presents, don't you?
Yes, but...
Now let me see. Whom shall have entered the contest? What about the Duke, Your Majesty? Of course. Now picture me, run quickly, and tell the Duke... tell the Duke to tell the guard to tell the footman to send the Duke here immediately.
But I don't want to marry the Duke. He's the dullest man in the palace.
Well, he can't be so dull. He won't be able to tell us what this is.
How will you know if he's right anyways? You don't know what it is yourself.
Nonsense. Why, here comes the Duke now.
Ah, Your Majesty, good afternoon. Making a little tour of the kitchen. Well, in this country, we're so fortunate to have a king who takes an interest in these simple matters. I have always said.
Say that for an afternoon speech.
Yes, Your Highness. How beautiful you look today.
All right. Let's get on with it. Now, Duke, can you tell me what I've made? Tell me what I've made here in this bowl.
What you've made, Your Majesty?
Yes, of course I made it. And if you tell me I made what is in it, you win the hand of the princess in marriage.
Well, that would indeed be an honor. Now let me see. Could it be pudding?
Pudding, of course not, you nincompoop. Why, I would make pudding. You must be really dull.
Oh, no, I'm not. Not at all, Your Majesty. Maybe if I could just taste it. I'm sure it will be delicious.
Well, what? Speak up, man. What is he trying to say?
I don't know. I told you he was dull. Well, there you are, Father. He doesn't know what you've made, so I don't have to marry.
Congratulations, Your Highness.
Well, just because he's dull doesn't mean everyone is. Let me see. Whom shall we ask next? What about you, God?
Father,
Oh, I'm afraid it wouldn't be fair for me to enter the contest, Your Majesty. I'm already married.
Well, don't stand there gaping. Go find someone.
Father, this is so soon.
Not at all. By now I'm curious myself to find out what I've made. It's too thick for soup.
Too thin for porridge.
Your Majesty, I have someone before the contest.
Well, send him in. Send him in.
All right, you come on in.
My peasant, my very own dear peasant.
My princess, my very own dear princess.
What is all this?
Your Majesty, this is an unexpected pleasure, but you didn't really have to come all the way down to the kitchen to see me. I would have been glad to come upstairs to the throne room.
Who let you out of the dungeon?
I did, Your Majesty. You said you wanted someone to enter the contest.
Guard, I didn't tell you out to empty out the dungeon. Can't you find anyone in his palace with royal blood?
Oh, this is wonderful. Father, please let him try. He's so clever. You will win the contest so you can marry me, won't you, dear peasant?
Of course. What is the contest?
I've made a perfectly wonderful dish of something or other, and whoever can tell me what it is receives the hand of the princess in marriage.
Go ahead, dear. Guess what Father's made?
Ah,
Delicious, isn't it?
indeed, yes. Let me see. Ah, of course. I have it.
What is it? What is it?
Now, just a minute. There.
What are you doing?
Now you'll see. Ah, just as I thought. Congratulations, Your Majesty.
What for?
You've just made a bowl of the most wonderful glue I've ever seen.
What?
Glue?
Glue?
Glue? You are a genius, an absolute genius. Why, this glue is as strong as iron, see? The sole of my shoe was almost falling off. Now it's as tight as new.
So you think I'm a genius, do you?
Certainly. You'll be famous, rich too. We'll put this in bottles and sell it everywhere. Let's see, we can call it King's Glue. Go out today and buy King's Glue so thick and thin it sticks with you.
I knew you were clever. We gave some to the Duke, and he didn't know what it was.
The Duke ate some? Just as I thought. His teeth are stuck together.
Oh my!
It serves him right. The fellow ought to have known better than to eat good. Here, guard, take him off to the royal dentist. It does look a little like glue. How clever I am.
You've won the contest. Now we can be married.
This is terrible. What will my prime minister say when he hears that I am to have a peasant for a son-in-law?
Never you mind. When we tell him how much money will go into the royal treasury from your glue, he won't care about anything, of course. It will mean you will have to spend most of your time in the kitchen.
It's not so bad down here, and I always have something to eat. As for you, cook,
Yes, Your Majesty.
off to cooking school. You go. And don't come back till you have a diploma. Take the kitchen maids with you. Now you two run along. I want to start working.
All right, Your Majesty. See you at the wedding.
Now,